Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to my stream. This is Meghnad. In case you don't know me, I know a lot of people, new people are expected today. I will tell you why slowly, and we will do a lot of talking. But the main topic that we are discussing today is Twitter dying? Is it? Is it dying? And there's a lot to talk about actually. So I've been on Twitter since January 2009. I just realized how long that has been, and it has been a journey. I have seen Twitter right from the beginning till now, and frankly speaking, it is the only social media platform I really understood. And back in the old days, if you want to know, Twitter was a very different place. They had no algorithm. There was this constant stream of tweets just coming, and people actually used hashtags to find things. It was nuts. How do you even do that? Why doesn't it have an algorithm behind it? It was all real time, and whenever you tweeted, it's just coming real time on your screen, and there is no algorithm telling you, oh, you should see this because you will like this more, or you see that because you will like that more. So it was a very different time. Then they put in the algorithm, and then a lot of things changed. Of course, celebrities came in. There was no such thing as famous people on it before. There was no verification. Some original people that I remember following, famous people, was Omar Abdullah, Shashi Tharoor, those kind of people. But and Barkha Dutt was also there, from India specifically. And I mean, there were not many people there, so it was nice till a point when a lot of people started joining, a lot of celebrities started joining, and then their fans also came in to follow them there. Lots of Bollywood cults were formed. Every time you said something, criticizing someone, of course, there's an army ready to defend that person. That happened, and then, of course, politicians came in. So then it got worse. And weirdly enough, because politicians were using Twitter to sort of push their agenda in one way or another, a lot of people are pushing their agenda. Everybody's pushing their agenda. Uh, News channels realize something epic. News channels realize that we can just pick up tweets and create news debates out of it. And that is what happened, where they just took controversial tweets from people, got like a few faces, talking heads to outrage over it. And that was basically Twitter then. It was setting the agenda everywhere. On TV, all you see is tweets and people debating on it. And then there are more tweets reacting to that tweet. And then there are tweets showing in the screen. Hashtag whatever pe tweet karo, and then they're showing a counter, 1500 tweets, 3000 tweets. We are trending #1 in India. All of that stuff happened. And that started a long time ago, actually. Now that I think of it, it's like 2016, 2017. And then journalists just were like ignored, like, and they realized this is very cheap to do. We just pick up a tweet, put people on a panel, and then they just scream for like 3 hours. 24/7 news chalana hai, so that's the best. Sponsors were also sponsoring them. After that, strangely enough, a lot of investment in news gathering just went down, and politicians and other people also realized, hey, if news is picking up stuff from Twitter, why don't we just create outrage here now? They started using Twitter as a tool to just become a part of the national agenda because the news channels are talking about it. It went nuts, right? Because then they started bringing in bots. So they would just copy paste certain sentences with a hashtag, and they would make something trend. Then a news channel will pick it up, and then they would outrage about it. It became like this whole cycle. It became like a very toxic cycle, I must say. And since then, right, it has just exploded. Like, this is now the model that we are living in, the news model, which is literally directed by Twitter. in so many ways, and that is too much power to a platform, right? There are around 300 million users something on Twitter, which is nothing compared to Facebook, billions, some 3 billion, whatever. But it is still disproportionately influential because of this behavior. And it is easy to use Twitter to set an agenda. Now, obviously, if you put a lot of investment into creating your bot army, spamming Twitter, hiring social media companies to also spam Twitter, well, you can just become a part of the agenda even if other people want it or not. Whatever you want, whatever people want you to care about, it becomes a part of the agenda. That is what happened, guys. This is where we are, and the whole toxicity that you see is also being pushed by this algorithm, which is just going to show you things that are popular. And usually what is popular on Twitter is outrage, and outrage is toxic. So then Twitter is, as a result, toxic but also important. So it's this weird situation the entire world is in. And now, uh, Sir Elon has taken over. Sir Elon has, just because he has money and he has a lot of, I guess, insecurities, I guess, he has taken over and he has bought Twitter for $44 billion. That's not a less amount. $44 billion is a lot of money. He just bought Twitter because he's like, I will turn it into a town square. Power to the people. We will talk about that a little more. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a backgrounder before we start. So people are in chat. Tigmanshu is here. Hi. Muhammad Imran is saying even religious persona use Twitter to promote themselves. I agree. Yes, that's absolutely accurate. All sorts of agendas came in on Twitter, right? Of course, there is the religious agenda, the fundamentalist agenda. There is also the activist agenda. That is also an agenda, right? Of course, political agendas, government doing campaigns and pushing things on people. News channels are running their own agendas. Companies are running their own stuff. It's just this race to just prove that mera agenda is the best agenda because I have the numbers, because you can see it on Twitter, because it's trending, right? Quote unquote movements started, like Justice for SSR, purely a Twitter concoction, which went on to TV channel, and you know what happened. Boycott Bollywood movements, whatever they are doing. Again, one more agenda driven IT cell, I would call it. Of course, the infamous BJP IT cell. Now there is a Congress IT cell and there is an Aam Aadmi Party IT cell. They all are trying to do their own thing, and there's this constant battle going on. Yeah, so that is what it is. Gaurong is saying, wasn't there like an Indian Twitter like platform a few years ago which I think failed? I don't know. Friends, that is what we are going to talk about today, actually. Let me just show you. So this is my Twitter right now, okay? January 2009, and yeah, this is what it is. And I have seen a giant follower drop for some reason in the last 2 weeks. I don't know if it's happening to everyone. I don't know if I upset someone, but my feeling is there is actually a bot purge happening. Maybe they're just striking down accounts after accounts that they think are bots, so there's some sort of cleanup happening. Maybe that is why there is a drop. I don't know if it's only me, I don't know if it's everybody else, but yeah, that is also happening. So speaking of Twitter alternatives, but before we get to that, before I introduce you to the main event, I have something new for you. I am going to use this. Okay, so the thing is, I use this to think sometimes. This is this app called draw.io, and I just use it as a sort of a note-taking tool, and plus I just use it to show you. I'll just use it to show you what we are going to talk about while we actually talk about it. Yeah, so the Indian platform that I'm talking about, which I'm currently on, is called Mastodon. And now it is blowing up. It is going a bit nuts. Let me find, there is a stat somewhere I was wanted to show you. I'll find it. Uh, Basically, this is a, I can't say it's a Twitter clone because it's not. It's very different, but it is very much like the old Twitter, the old OG Twitter, which I described in the beginning, where everything is real time, right? And it is very interesting. I joined this in 2017. I have been on and off, like mostly dormant for some time, then not. It's funny because over the past few years, there have been many moments where Twitter has said or done something or whatever, and there has been an exodus out of it. So I joined in the first exodus. I don't even remember why I joined, but I did, and it was because of a Twitter exodus. And since then, like every other year, I can see like more people coming in, more people coming in. But now, right now, it is exploding. It is going kind of nuts, actually. I have been very active on this since like the last few days, actually. Like look at this. This is the they also give you stats of how many users are using it right now. So right now, there are about 600,000 accounts. Last hour, 5,000 were added, and 100,000 were added in a day. 100, you can see that 136,000. That's 1,36,000 if you want to Indianize it. Yeah, 4,46,000 in the last week. So it is going nuts, as you can see. And Greta Thunberg joined today. From India, Omar Abdullah joined yesterday. There are a few more people coming in. But the fun thing is, all of them are coming and talking just random stuff. Like Omar, for example, has been tweeting about coffee because why not? And he's actually talking to people like very actively. And I am too. Like it's a very interesting platform. But we will talk about this after we actually talk about what is happening at Twitter. And I will take comments and answer questions in the middle, of course. That goes without saying. Boycotting films on social media doesn't work. If the movie has good content, it will be super hit. Boycotting movies on social media, I'm also a little confused about that, whether it works or doesn't work. But it works great as virtue signaling, though. It is also great to basically scare Bollywood. It's actually a great tool to scare Bollywood. I feel like there is a sort of a political sort of movement going on there where they're trying to keep Bollywood in control so that they don't do too much controversial things or challenge the government too much, because the power of stories is immense. And if you show stories against the current establishment or anything that they're doing, or a religion which they are pushing, then that's a problem. So boycott Bollywood, whatever gang or whatever you want to call it on Twitter. I think that is their primary agenda, which is essentially shutting up people and scaring them so much by trolling them constantly. And any movie that you can find, you will find like a boycott trend, or Netflix ko, yeah, Amazon ko, yeah, even companies ko, Snapchat, Snapdeal, what happened, all of those things. Yeah, but so it might not work actually when it comes to movie sales or tickets, but it does work in terms of censorship. It's a tactic to scare producers into not producing movies that would annoy this gang of people on Twitter. Yeah, and also as a result, our TV channels. It's a they'll just self censor then you don't have to worry after that kitna ja raha hai, kitna ticket aa raha hai, kya ho raha hai. Only the ones that are doing movies and TV shows in favor of the establishment would be supported by this gang also. So then they would moonlight as promotions for those movies also. And yeah, that's what happens. Millennial mind, that was your question. Okay, let's go back to our draw.io. Okay, so is Twitter dying? As you know, Elon has taken over, and okay, so I don't think it is dying. I don't think Twitter is dying. Let's put it this way. Maybe there are a lot of people that are exiting Twitter right now. A lot of people are exiting and going to other mediums or just shutting down their accounts because they are scared that Elon Musk and what he stands for is going to make the platform worse. I am in two minds about that. I will explain. One side obviously is saying that Elon Musk said absolute free speech, and his behavior in the past has been such that he has a Republican tilt, right wing tilt. He uses a lot of memes which have right wing symbolism in it, etc. So people are worried about that. That this guy is going to let the trolls loose, and a specific kind of trolls loose. And he's like, absolute free speech, you shouldn't censor, which means that if you are someone who is sort of using hateful speech, people are saying that that will be allowed then. So when he took over Twitter, there was like this spike in the usage of the N word. And I can't say it, of course, the N word. And turns out it was like a network of 300 accounts that were running a campaign. Of course, they were testing the waters, and therefore it exploded. And then the Wall Street Journal did an article on it as well. It was removed though, like immediately it was removed. And then Elon also pointed out that we have not changed the content moderation policies. But at the same time, what he did was that he ended up firing a lot of people. That will come at changes in the company, staff reduction, right? So he fired around 3,700 people, and he fired a lot of people in India, by the way. Apparently, from what I hear, only the coders are left, and all the marketing and outreach and all the departments are just gone, just gone. And I think his whole point was that there is one coder, but there are 5-6 people managing it, and that is such a big cost to the company, pointless cost. So he was like, nikal do, sabko nikal do. And that is also one reason why maybe moderation might not be as good as it is or it was. Even though the moderation policies are the same, I don't know exactly how many of the moderators also, or that from that team, safety and security, he has gotten rid of. But from what I've read, that has had no major changes. So then he also then clarified in multiple occasions that hate speech will be not allowed on the platform. That goes without saying. He also had an interview, I think 3 days ago, in some event where he again pointed out, when someone clearly asked him, will you allow hate against Jews and black people on Twitter? He said, no way I'm going to allow that. There is no way I'm going to allow hate speech on the platform. So that is one. Okay, so the other changes that he's making, what is he doing? I think I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Tigmanshu asks, how am I doing? How was my day? My day was great, my friend. I got a new YouTube background. Yes. No, it was great. And sorry about the inconsistency. I know you pointed out I was away traveling for a bit, and I have just come back to Delhi. But I want to do once a week live streams, probably twice a week, but only when I have something to talk about, which I really want to talk about. And this is something I really want to talk about. Okay. So let's continue. Just a second, okay? Yeah, sorry. There are a few questions I was looking up. Since most employees in India are shown the doors, then oh my god, it would be misused in our country. Mangalam, let's just not mince any words. Twitter wasn't exactly the best managed company in Silicon Valley. Actually, it was the worst. It made no profits. It was in losses. I don't know why investors were putting money into it. Probably because it is such an influential platform with some influential people, and it is convenient for authorities to use it to set agendas. So then maybe investors are like, if we put money into Twitter, we actually get some leeway there, and we actually make this platform exist, which also works well with our other media ecosystem that we are controlling. Maybe that was the reason why a lot of investors were putting in the money, but and it's very confusing. They made no profits. Again, they were a loss making company for like whatever since existence, and they just kept doing it. So it was a very badly managed company, right? There was hate speech on Twitter even before, as it is now, and they did a sucky job at censoring, or not censoring, but like moderating language content, which is a no-brainer. I mean, Facebook is a big offender when it comes to, you know, spreading hate. In Myanmar, in India, of course, in multiple places. So Twitter, though, is also responsible for it because it is a big fountainhead for fake news. I mean, it just flows from here. So they did a very bad job at controlling that also. Plus, the bots were an actual problem. This whole, if you look at the trending right now, I don't understand the trend somehow. Just a second, let me just show. Let's look at the trending. Shame on NCP. भारत की आवाज मोदी जी. ओके, भारत की आवाज मोदी जी चल रहा है. ऑफ कोर्स योगी देवनाथ, दिस इज अ फ्रॉड अकाउंट. दिस वाज अ डिफरेंट अकाउंट. ही जस्ट बॉट दिस ब्लू टिक अकाउंट एंड टर्नड इट इनटू दिस, एंड नाउ इट हैज बिकम लाइक अ 1.3 million. Who is Yogi Devnath? Who knows? But hey, yeah, the Lion of India, Maximum, all of these are common offenders of creating these trends. These are like accounts. um, let's find something that we can copy paste. In 2024 also we will bring those who brought our Shri Ram. Let's see if okay, one only. This is a good test to check if the trend is manufactured. This is clearly one. And it's just random sentences. Trend alert. Modi hai to mumkin hai. Just see same picture, like multiple accounts are using the same picture. You can see many signs here. Okay, let's look at another trend. 15 years of Deepika Padukone. Okay, see, here is to the woman who gave us iconic characters. The icon, the dreamy girl herself, Deepika Padukone. Let's see. Is this legit? Okay, this one seems legit. 15 years of Ranbir Kapoor is also starting. Or did they launch at the same time? I don't know. Why is this levitating GX whatever is tweeting about this? Okay, I mean, not to judge. You can be a levitating GX whatever, but okay, interesting. Okay, let's see. आएगी तो BJP ही. Again, look at this. Same. This is the Himachal Pradesh trend, of course. BJP is right for all things, so I support. इतना कुछ किया है, हम उसको work for Himachal. Okay. Okay, let's see if this spelling mistake has been made somewhere else. Yep. Yes, see. I think we should all support. Is there anyone support? I think we should all support. कहाँ गया? Interesting. So yeah, this is a Himachal Pradesh trend. We can find it. Niche though, you will see some of them which might be actually organic. FTT Karthik Aryan, apparently India Today is trending. This might be something that has happened with India Today. Shame on you, India Today. Yeah, reduxed itself. Okay. Yeah. So get my point. That is basically it. Like all the trends are essentially garbage. You get nothing out of this. What is this trend? Like shame on NCP. Like all these trends, it's all political. It's all being done by like armies that are making this happen, right? And if you look at for you, this is my thing that it is showing me. The algorithm is saying this is for me. India lockdown, Kareena Kapoor Khan for some reason, Black Day, Indian economy. This is the demonetization trend that is happening. Notbandi, Moscow. Yeah. So that is Twitter right now. Let me take. My concern is the response from Elon to future policy of Twitter head in India, where in general discourse, RW propaganda is most influential. How could I trust Elon in this? Money versus ethics. Actually, that's a good point. Let me just talk about that a little bit because it has also got to do a lot with paid blue ticks. Yay, paid blue ticks. So if you know now, so Elon is now trying to make this a profitable company, right? And one of his ideas is that people should pay Twitter $8 a month. I mean, in US, he said that in India it will be according to PPP. So what he's comparing an $8 thing is to like a Starbucks latte. I don't exactly know how much a Starbucks latte costs. I haven't been to Starbucks in ages, but I would assume it's like $400, 350 to $400. If the chat knows, please do tell me. Maybe that would be the equivalent of what Indians would have to pay for the subscription of Twitter, right? Even then, the thing that will happen is if you pay Twitter, my verified handle is going to go away in a few days. But if I pay Twitter, the verified handle stays. Now, it doesn't mean verification anymore. It means paid account. Yeah, I mean, this person is supporting Twitter and is a subscriber of Twitter and paying them. So that is what the blue tick, what it would mean. There is a concern that what will happen to the verified people then. I mean, the reason why I got verified, and I will tell you why. Back in 2016-17, I started tweeting from Parliament. So I was working in Parliament. I was seeing a lot of stuff happening around me, and I just started live tweeting whatever I'm seeing, right? On TV, in Parliament, gossip also thoda sa from inside the Parliament, from an anonymous handle. I've deleted that a long time ago. Lot of stuff basically I updated, and I just did it in a very casual way. No like legalese, no language. मुझे आता ही नहीं था. मुझे legal language कभी समझ में ही नहीं आती थी. तो I was just like tweeting like a normal person, whatever I understood. And that just went crazy. People started following me, and then it went up. Then I started writing articles, and then I applied for verification. I put in, they have a criteria. You have to put in like 3 published works, and why are you a prominent personality? Prove it with your ID, etc. I did all of that, and then I got verified. So that's how my verification happened. But what that meant is that it is actually me who is actually tweeting from that account. That is the authenticity that it was giving me. So for governments, journalists, prominent politicians, douches like me, yeah, the verification is how that worked. Later though, that changed because somehow there was this one way where you could fill forms and get it done. But also I know a lot of people now who basically just knew someone in Twitter. And then they were like, मेरे को verify कर दो. And they were like, sure. And they got verified. And there are so many accounts you would find which in the recent years, that is how they got verified. Because they knew someone in Twitter. I'm not sure if any money exchange had happened. I'm not entirely sure of it. But I'm pretty sure that लगा लगाया था बहुत जगह पे. And therefore, a lot of people got verified, right? That kind of defeated the purpose of verification to a large extent also. And as we saw, there are people like friend Yogi Devnath who just bought verified accounts and they haven't removed that one still, by the way. I don't know. It's bizarre. And these things kept happening. So the verification, or what it means, the authentication system kind of collapsed, right? The only thing that it did for me then was that if you see a blue tick account, you automatically want to follow it. So that gave me an advantage over other people. And I'm very aware of that. It is a very unfair advantage that I got on this platform by getting a blue tick and just getting popular that way, right? Because I'm verified. Another thing that they did is that whenever I would respond to someone or reply to a tweet, my thing will show up on top. So then I just get priority, my content gets priority, everything gets priority. It is a big problem, if you know what I mean. It's not equal. The platform is just not equal for everyone anymore. I got special status somehow, and that continues to happen still. So in a way, if you pay for these blue ticks and you get the same features, which is when you reply to it, your response shows up on top, you're still given priority, but now everybody knows that you got that because you paid for it. I feel like that's a better system, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, because sure, you might say that how will I verify whether that account is authentic that is giving me information? That is going to be a problem. What if it's a government, right? Does the government pay taxpayer money to Twitter to verify all their accounts? Kya Ministry of Defense, all of these will require like separate subscriptions, right? They're all separate accounts. So will Twitter give like a bulk deal to a government कि हाँ तुम इतना पैसा दो सब verify कर देंगे? Or the other option is then that there will be a tag under it. Like even now you can see there are tags. Who has it? Joe Biden has it? Yeah, President Joe Biden. I think United States government official. See, these are the tags which can be added then. So this check mark here will mean nothing. The blue, except that the account has actually paid for it. But there might be a tag like this under it for actual accounts that need to be proven that they are authentic accounts. That is my guess. But then even there, what happens is that there are some Chinese accounts. Does RT have this? RT News. I'm not sure if they deleted it, RT, because there used to be like a tag, Russian something something, government something something, similar way. So there is of course going to be like a little bit of a US bias when it comes to those tags. I'm not sure if Indians will get it so easily, because you know that our Indian, everybody's gone. Everybody who is supposed to make these decisions is just gone. So who knows? Just taking a few comments. Have you watched MKBHD's video about Twitter? It's a night take from tech perspective. Yes, Red Crow, I actually saw that, and I kind of agree with a lot of things he says. I'll actually explain a few things that he also says. I've added some of my stuff to it. I read a bunch of things and then I'm just jumbling it all up into this. So MKBHD's video was one of my sources, yes. Tigmanshu is saying, why don't you make an alt Bhakt account, collect data of that account, also make an alt liberal leftist account, collect its data and also compare the two. कितना effort है रे? तू करना, मेरे को मत बोल. बहुत effort. Too much. Can I show you something fun that I have done though? I want to show this to you. Uh, so I did this, like, I was just sitting around one day and I was like, what I will do is I will follow everyone that Modi ji follows. And now I can see Modi ji's timeline. 1.5k members. I have two lists. And this is what our Prime Minister's timeline looks like. It was very fun. It's a fun exercise you should also try. Or if you look at my list, you will find Namo 1, Namo 2, you can follow it. And you can see if Prime Minister Modi opens his account right now and looks at his timeline, this is probably what it would look like. Hindu sentiment matters. Uh, it's a very different world, I must say. My timeline is very different than what this is. So sometimes I just go there and see what is happening. क्या देख रहे हैं सर हमारे. It's very fun. And this is number 2. So I had to split it up because it didn't allow me to follow all of them. And I think the recent follows are not there. This was made by Pratik Wagmare, a researcher who was working with me. And we just tried to do this. So yeah, if you want, you can follow it. I haven't updated it. I must tell you that it has around 1800 accounts right now, both lists included. Yeah. So, Tigmanshu, point being that maybe you can follow that list and you will know. Yeah, there are a lot of questions. Hi, Aman. Hi, Jeshmin. Elon is an impulsive risk taker. After selling his first company, he invested all of his money in Tesla and SpaceX in early 2000s, and it paid off. So $8 thing is not a big thing for Elon. $8 thing might not be a big thing for a lot of Americans also, to be honest. Those who actually want to be on Twitter and want to sort of have that blue check mark. Now, the thing is, he is also talking about a few other features that you get with Twitter Blue, as they are calling it, the check mark, right? One is, of course, your replies get priority, so your content automatically gets priority whenever you respond to someone, whenever you do something like that, right? The other thing I think he said was they are trying to pivot to video. Now, that is a little confusing for me. He said that if you do Twitter Blue, you will be allowed around 42 minutes of uploading 42 minutes of video and audio. So I'm guessing he is giving priority to podcasts also. Will they be able to do this? It's a text-based platform primarily. अभी भी, I mean, of course, Twitter पे videos आते हैं, but 5 minutes, 10 minutes, ठीक है. 42 minutes, will I stay on Twitter to watch that video? I'm not so sure, to be honest. Plus, you can't compete with YouTube on videos. Their dashboard is glorious. Their analytics is glorious. They have worked on this for years, their video and whatever. For Twitter to pivot to that, not so sure. Not very confident about it. You know what was great? They did this thing called Periscope at some point a few years ago, which was Twitter Live. I really liked Periscope because the interface was clean, it was great. Even MKBHD pointed out the same thing, that, it was a very clean interface and they could have monetized that. Like what YouTube is doing right now with super chats and all those things. Twitter could have done that back then, but they didn't because the company management is garbage. I mean, it was a very badly managed company. Tigmanshu is saying Twitch is best. Yes, Twitch is another streaming platform which has been doing great because they focus on one thing and they do it well. That's why they are doing it. Twitter has been doing a lot of things, just like Meta products, where Instagram will one day suddenly be a picture platform, next day it will become like a Snapchat, the other day it will become like a Clubhouse, I don't know, or now TikTok, now everything together. Then the algorithm keeps changing. It's just bizarre what is happening on Instagram. For Twitter also, like they did Spaces, Periscope, that stories also, they tried Fleets. which was a complete failure. They tried to do Snapchat type fleets, whatever. They're just trying to add weird features to the same platform just to make it something more. I think that is going to be this as well, which is video. Yeah, pivot to video is, I think, going to be a problem. Sorry, till now I didn't realize that I wasn't showing you the screen. I was just pointing at pivot to video, but I was just, for you, I was pointing at nothing. Anyway, so this is going to be actually one change in the company, big time, right? Because now they have to also find people who would be able to build this for them. That's maybe they'll be able to, maybe they won't. We'll see what happens. But I don't like the fact that Twitter is pivoting to video. It doesn't need to. It just needs to be what it is, I guess. Bot purge is another thing that he promised. Now, I don't know. Again, as I said, in the last 3 odd weeks, even before Elon took over, actually, my follower count just started dropping. To be perfectly honest, since 2016, I have never seen a drop in followers. I mean, कभी कभी कम हो जाता है, कभी कभी ज़्यादा हो जाता है. That happens, but I have not seen a drop before. So, I mean, maybe I did something and it caused a drop. Don't know, but I feel like there is something happening on the bot purge front also, where they might be actively removing a lot of accounts. I don't know if it's happening for everyone. Please check around and ask. Don't take my word for it. But maybe if he's doing it, that's great. बहुत सारे fake accounts जा रहे हैं. Okay, now finally, is it good for the users? That is a question. That is a big question. I think I will, I'll talk about whether I will use Twitter in the future or not after this, but is this good for users? The blue tick thing, I can get on board, to be perfectly honest. I think if it's like 300, 400 bucks a month, maybe I'll pay, right? One of the logic behind that also, which I'm still figuring that out in my head. So if you are a blue tick person and you are replying to someone, right, your comment is showing up top. So now there are a bunch of blue tick people that are showing up under a primary tweet, right? Below that is the non-blue tick people. Now, if you are a bot maker, I'm calling them bot makers, or like, social media agency, whatever, creating usernames to trend things. If you're one of those people, the expense on you to create these blue tick accounts will be a lot. And it makes sense that the accounts that they have created, which might be fake accounts or one person operating multiple accounts, will get pushed to the bottom. So it's like a filtration system based on money. So people who can pay get privilege. People who can't pay go down. People who want to do sinister things will not pay. Maybe that is the logic there. Again, is it good? Is it bad? Leave it up to you. I feel like it's an interesting idea. I want to see it happen, and I want to see what happens after that, because there is also the worry that now anybody can pay and basically just get priority in content. So what makes you think that it can't be hateful trolly content, right? And because this person is paying Twitter, will they really have an incentive to remove them or block them or just do anything to them? That is the question we need to answer, right? Is it good for the users? We'll see. Is Twitter good for the users? I'm an addict. Look at my face, a tortured addict. I have been on Twitter for ages. I have been trolled multiple times. I have had the worst things said to me on Twitter, but I still keep going back. I do it, guys. I do it. I'm just, it's sad, but it is true. It is real, and I'm just telling you what it is, right? I think Elon wants to make, Millennial Mind is saying, I think Elon wants to make Twitter app just like WeChat app of China. He suggested that in a video. I'm not sure how though. WeChat is a very different thing. I'm confused about that part, to be honest. Like, we want to make it like a WeChat. What does that even mean? Like you want to integrate payment systems in there, sure, abhi bhi kar sakte ho, but like for what, right? Will I make transactions? Like I want to buy things on Twitter. Is the product being offered, and therefore I need like a payment system to buy that product? Is that so? Is there a marketplace now? You know what happened to Instagram marketplace? Not exactly a good idea. Um, I'm not sure what that means, to be honest. Like right now, I'm just talking about things where I'm like, हाँ ठीक है, ये possible है. This is maybe not so possible. I mean, it's just like things he's saying, I guess. Some of the things he's saying is just saying because he can. And he has a platform now. He literally bought a platform to say things that he wants. So, yeah. Uh, Ayman is saying this is a Stan Twitter trick. We follow people, our faves follow, and see what their timeline looks like. Oh, I don't understand what that was. Will Twitter be able to profit if they follow this sort of revenue policy? You know, one thing that I'm also looking forward to is that there is talk about paying the creators. I'm actually looking forward to what happens there. There might be a super follow. I think they already like did some testing around it, so like I think I'll enable it. You know what happened with me is that I used to tweet a lot about parliament and policy and all these things. After a point, I was just like, why am I doing this? कुछ इंसेंटिव ही नहीं था, गालियाँ ही पड़ रही थी मुझे बस. And I was like, I'm doing so much work, research, reading, all of that, trying to turn it into like Twitter threads and watching Parliament continuously, talking about it. But what was my incentive really? Except for, of course, people started following me and etc. etc. Uh, all the incentives that I got were from other people, like publications who wanted to publish my stuff. A book company who wanted to publish a book with me, right? And then I just was like, I'll just do this as a video, and then that's what I did at News Laundry. So I just stopped contributing that much to Twitter. But if they find a way to incentivize someone like me to put original content like Parliament threads on Twitter, I would love that. I would jump in and I would then go back to doing that because I love doing that. I love following Parliament. I love talking about policy in a very nice way. So maybe I'll do that then. But let's see if that is a thing that happens. What happened to the Twitter executive who was summoned by Delhi police? Then the company shifted him to USA. Was he fired too? Was this the grievance redressal officer? Oh, that's a whole different wormhole that I don't want to open right now. Which is how will Twitter obey regulations of a country and what sort of relationship this new Twitter will have with each government? That is something that will be next level mind blowing. I feel like earlier Twitter, I'm not sure, was very pro government. I feel like that. Again, my opinion, don't take my word for it, but I felt like in a lot of places they supported the establishment. But will this new Twitter also do it? I don't know. That would be interesting to see. Okay, now I want to also show you something that I think a lot of people are here for, which is the Twitter alternative. The Twitter alternative is fun. Okay. I will take your questions also, but let me talk about the alternative as well. Okay, so what is happening on Twitter right now is that a lot of people are upset with all the changes that they're making, and there is a Twitter exodus happening, which is a lot of users from Twitter are just leaving Twitter to go to other platforms, right? One of the biggest one, I think the biggest one right now, is this called Mastodon. Now, Mastodon is a weird thing to explain, to be perfectly honest, right? Right now, it reminds me of old school Twitter. Everything is chronological. Right now, if you look at my timeline, this is what is happening. It's just people talking about random things, which used to be Twitter. People just talking about what they like, what they're doing, just general talk, like flowers, like talking about flowers. How nice. um, yeah, look at this, like people are just doing very nice, like just chilling. It's a community here, which is old school Twitter. Twitter used to be like this. To be perfectly honest, I have seen Twitter like this, which is we used to do Nagpur city meetups on Twitter, if you can imagine. We had like a bunch of, I think, some 50-60 accounts from Twitter. We were actually able to find each other on Twitter using hashtags, which was hashtag Nagpur. And we were like, hey, why don't we meet up? Why don't we go watch movies? Why don't we do food tours? We will just do things together now. And we did that. It was a great place. It was just like a community experience. Here, it is something like that. Now, to explain this and why it's different from Twitter, Twitter is controlled by one dude, which is our friend Elon Musk right now at this point of time. It is a centralized platform. All the policies that are made by that centralized person, and then they are implemented across the board. So all the users have to obey. What this is, though, is it's completely decentralized. How this works is you join Mastodon and you will be assigned a server. Just simply, let's say you go into one room, right? And I have joined another room, right? So you're in different rooms, and each of these rooms are being run by different people. So like there is a person running room A who feels like I need more moderation against, I don't know, whatever they want. I don't want any religious talk in my server at all. Mere room mein aayega, so no religious talk. And there are some people who be like, yeah, I am sick and tired. I want to go to that place and I want to stay there. You can do that, right? Now, I go to a room where maybe I'm okay with politics and religion and whatever, but I'm not okay with Nazis. I'm not okay with bhakts. I'm not okay with hateful conduct. I can find a room where I can find someone who is running that kind of a room. So now all these rooms you are in, right? Now you will be like, हाँ, but तो तू room में रहेगा तो room वाले ही लोगों से बात करेगा. Actually, no. The good thing about this is that you can either stick to your room, you can actually be like a local resident, and if you look at the sidebar, you will see it. So this is my timeline. These are people who I'm following, right? But if I go to local, this is actually people who are in my server right now, which is mastodon.social. These are people who are on that server, right? But if I go to federated, this is the entire network of rooms, right? But the thing is, now let's say room number C is a room full of Nazis. Who is stopping them from not creating their own room and moderating it or doing whatever? What will end up happening is that room number C can be blocked entirely by room number A and room number B. Just blocked. So all the people who are joining that room, नहीं देखना है. तुम लोग सब toxic हो, तुम लोग सब दूर रहो मेरे से. So you will not see any content on either of these. Even if you go to the federated thing, that room is blocked. So all the content from that room is also blocked. So they can do whatever they want there, right? But if other rooms also like band together and say, that room is problematic, we don't want our users to see it, they can actually do that. Now, the interesting thing is that room A and room B people can talk to each other, because you can follow people in other servers also, right? And what happens is, say room A is there and room X is there, which is completely different, right? They don't know each other yet, right? But if one person from room A follows someone in room X, then the server will open up for the entirety of room X and room X will open up for the entirety of this one. So there has to be some talking happening there. It's a protocol. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail. This is the simplest explanation I can give right now. What I recommend though, if you want to join Mastodon, if you want someone and you are Indian, right? We have started a nice little hashtag for you. It's called Must India. It's supposed to be Mast India, but Must India is the hashtag. You can go hashtag Must India. Now, what is happening is whoever is joining from India, we are directing them to this, because now they are giving introductions. And look at this, like, so nice, like IT professionals giving introductions. Science Mastodon, freelance science writer and journalist based in Bangalore. Um, there are people complaining about why they moved from Twitter. Of course, that is natural. Um, you know, data person runs a mental health startup. So many people basically are now tweeting with Must India. And on this server you can see what is trending. So this is a server trend, not a what the whole thing is called the Fediverse. Again, not going into too much technicalities, don't want to like just scare you right now. This is what is happening in my room, right? Where these are the things that are trending. Election day, my top shelf, blood moon, lunar eclipse is trending. Let's see. So a bunch of things. Okay, another great thing about this is that you will not see default images, right? Because you will basically have to make it visible. uh, all default images will be uh, hidden by default, so like there is one extra step that you have to do. The other thing is you can put in content warnings. So what people can do is something like this. Test, just showing this content warning feature on my stream, right? And I publish this. Now what happens is, has it not updated? Yeah, that's a problem. Oh no, it will update. Yeah, so see, this is what I just tweeted. Tooted is what they're calling it. Posted, whatever. So it will have something like this, which is test, show more. And when I show more, just showing this content feature warning on my stream. So it's a content warning. So essentially, now what I do is I'm like, Indian political content, and then whatever I have to post is under it. So if you don't want to see politics, you can just not click on it, right? You can do this for so many things, right? That I think that's a great feature. Like, there are so many people who are giving titles to something, and of course there are also people who are like giving a joke line and then there's a punchline under it. That is also great. But it's a great feature. Like, you can just put in trigger warnings and then put text under it, but it is hidden from everyone. It's not like TW giant text, but I mean, it's like, TW ke niche likha hai, so I mean, what is this? Yeah, you can do a lot of these things. So yeah, that is basically Mastodon, and if you want to join it, let's see. Oh, lots of questions. Okay. Just we'll take it one by one. Millennial Mind is saying, why don't you publish a book about Parliament in 2022? I already have a book. It's a political satire called Parliamental. You can check it out, Millennial Mind. I'm writing my second book, but it is not going to be about Parliament. I'm writing a non-fiction now. You'll see soon. मेरा डेडलाइन है. शिट, मुझे आज ही भेजना था कुछ तो भी मैं भूल गया. I have to send something. Thank you, Millennial Mind, for reminding me. मेरी एडिटर मुझे मार डालेगी. Apurva is saying love you and love your work. Thanks, Apurva. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Thank you for watching. What servers to follow in? It's called Mastodon. Mastodon. So what you do is, when you join, it will give you options of joining various servers. It doesn't really matter right now what one you join. I joined very long ago, so I'm on the OG server, which is called mastodon.social. But I'm not sure if they are accepting users anymore. I would recommend Vimo, if Vimo is in the chat, if he can suggest some servers also. He has also joined. So there are people with different servers, like let's see some people. So Deep Sea Lioness is also on Mastodon Social. Let me just find you a few instances of what servers look like. That's what I'm trying to do. Let's see. So see, there is this server called toot.community, which I'm seeing very often now, at toot.community. There is a person who is creating an Indian server also, but it's still in the works. Once it's up, I can tell you. You can follow me there, and we'll update it on hashtag Must India. Um, there is mstdn.social. This is also one of the OG servers. There are things like these also, m.sclo.nl. So you will have to find a lot of these servers, but the good thing is that you can change servers also. Like, it's not like you're stuck to one after you create it, right? The only thing that will happen is that your posts might not go from one server to the other, but your followers and followed list will all go from one server to the other. So if you get upset with one moderator for running a server for a certain way, you can always change it. You can migrate your server to another one, so you can change rooms, as I said in the initial examples. um Nilesh is saying sounds like Mastodon is Twitter multiverse. That is exactly what it is. It is Twitter on a multiverse. Essentially, many Twitters on one. There is a Fediverse concept. If I have to tell you in short, this is not just Twitter. There is also an Instagram, YouTube. There is a Goodreads clone. All of them are built on this protocol, this decentralized protocol. So the Fediverse actually is a collection of apps, and then you can create one account in any of these servers and use any of those apps which are allowed by that server. So essentially, it's like Instagram and Twitter and Goodreads and everything decentralized into a multiverse. It's a bit difficult to understand, but again, if you are joining this, I just recommend what you do is go to Must India, do a hashtag introduction. Hashtag introduction, just write your introduction, and you will find so many people responding to it. It's lovely. If you look at the introduction tab right now, the amount of engagement, quality engagement I'm getting on this platform, I haven't seen in years. Honestly, like, I just say whatever and there are people commenting on it. There are not many, I'm not saying hundreds of people are like talking to me, but like the 2-3 people who are responding are just like very quality responses, thought out, and it's across the world, right? So now my audience is everybody on this server and the entire Fediverse. So if they see my tweet, they find it interesting, they basically say something, hey, hello, hi. See, this is this is a different language introduction, but people are responding to that. My name is Tim from Germany. Lots of tech people you will find, but lots of people who are interested in politics also. Lots of academics have joined, lots of scientists. Greta Thunberg has joined as well, as I said in the beginning. So the only way to surf Mastodon realistically right now is if you go through hashtags like old Twitter. If you find a hashtag that you're interested in and you basically want to essentially find people on Twitter, sorry, not Twitter, fuck, what is happening to my brain, Mastodon. You just go to the hashtag, right? And you will see many people talking about it. This is all real time, so there is no algorithm telling you that, oh, please look at this, look at this, look at this. No, it's all chronological, time stamped, and you can just browse. It's nice. Yeah, let's look at something like photography. Hashtag photography. I have spent hours doing this, like literally going from one hashtag to the other, to the other, to the other. And the kind of content that I'm seeing is just like, this is nuts. I'm like, this is very interesting. And then I just respond to people. It's fun. I really like it. It's a photography thing now. current affairs, videography, all of these are hashtags. Rants, cycling, orchids is a hashtag. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, again, depends on whether anybody is putting anything on it. Clearly, people are obsessed with orchids. So they are. Yeah, fascinating stuff. Orchids, orchids. Okay, let's look at space exploration. Yeah, so like lots of space updates. It's just, this is smart Twitter, if you want to call it that, right now at least. Again, cannot guarantee how long this lasts, what happens, but right now I'm really having a good time on it. I mean, I'm reading a lot of things, I'm meeting a lot of interesting people who I usually didn't even know existed. A lot of people who came from my Twitter to Mastodon, I have never interacted with them, I have never talked to them, but now I'm talking to them and I'm like, hey, that's nice. I didn't even see their responses because maybe मेरा filtration system में निकल गया होगा या फिर whatever. People are like, hey, I like spoke to you so many times on Twitter, you said nothing, and I was like, okay. And here it's just there, I can see it. Please talk about joining different servers instead of everyone jumping on one server, is what Kushal Das is saying. Now, Kushal, I know what you mean. So, okay, so one thing I needed to talk about was that, okay, Mastodon is a decentralized network that is run by people. So, people who are running servers are actually putting in their own blood, sweat, tears, and money into it. You can donate to that server to keep it alive. Now, there are some servers which are obviously default servers which Mastodon had when it started. Those are getting overloaded. Like Mastodon.social right now is seeing a lot of users coming in. So they keep opening and closing the doors sometimes based on the server load, right? So you can find other servers the moment you join it actually. They will give you an option, a bouquet of servers if you want. But if you want, join in whatever server, later you can pick yours and go. Just that beware that if you join a very popular server, it might be a little slow for you. The updating, the notifications, etc. Like my notifications right now are coming to me an hour later. And I'm like, I don't really mind that. It's fine. I mean, ठीक है. But if you want like faster, whatever, you can go there. Now the apps on your phone are also going to be different. For Android, I use this thing called Tusky. It is a great app, very minimalistic. Again, very simple to use, just very good. So I would recommend that. Others you can explore. Once you join Mastodon, I think you can just ask a question out in the universe and someone will respond to it. Happened to me so many times. So please try that. Vimo is saying there is an entire directory out there. So yeah, please find that directory as well. When and Ronak is asking when and why did you leave News Laundry? I left in July, and I am now how many months? Well, since July. Why did I leave? I wanted to just get out of news. Probably I was very tired of it, and I wanted to try new things like this. I wanted to build my YouTube channel, but I also wanted to explore podcasts. So IVM Podcast was kind enough to take me. And the great thing is they are like, no, you also do your own thing and we will do our own thing with you. So, which is actually great. I mean, I can be a creator. I can do like a YouTube channel. I can do all of that. I can write in places. I can do all of that. But at the same time, I'm employed by like IVM and I'm the creative director. So I get to also, commission podcasts, and I'm creative director non-fiction there. So I commission very interesting podcasts, which you will see coming out very soon. I run my own show called ELI 10. So you can check that out as well. I'm just trying new things. That's what is happening. And I'm much happier. I mean, बहुत कम toxicity अब life में. I can actually not look at Twitter anymore, which is great. for my mental health, for everybody's mental health, because I'm not contributing to the dumpster fire. So it's great. Certain European governments have their own servers. It's a way to authenticate. Yeah, this is actually very interesting. So I think German government and European Union, they have started their own servers on the Fediverse. They basically then get only accounts which they want to authenticate, right? So if the government is running the server, all, let's say example, their ambassadors and their officials and their even their ministries, etc., can have, all of them have handles on that server and usernames on that server, so nobody else can join. So whenever you get authenticated, it's basically by joining the server, so you know that server is legit. So then everybody inside there is also legit. So then they can also obviously talk to everyone and talk to the entire Fediverse, etc. So that is another thing. So it's very possible to do that. That's actually a great idea. I didn't even know that existed until this morning. So thanks, Vimo. Manozar is saying toot toot, hello. So a lot of people are coming here from Mastodon. Hello to everyone. I posted this and I got a good response when I posted this there also. A lot of new people are coming in today. So hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Meghnad. I know you might have come from wherever in the world. Yeah, this is basically a live stream that I do on a weekly basis. If you like this content, please do consider subscribing, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. I will just take a few last questions and then I will cut off. Is joining a server like following a Facebook page? Not exactly, I would say, Ria. Let's see. Again, I used that room example earlier. If you went here, you can just go back and see that as well. But just to put it in short, it's like you're entering a room and there are other people in there. And essentially you're talking to the people inside the room, but also other people outside the room can hear you based on whether the room has allowed it. It's a little convoluted. I know it sounds convoluted. I wouldn't say it's like a Facebook page, because a Facebook page would be when I run a Facebook page and I post on it and other people comment on it. A server is more like a person, a moderator is running it, but other people are posting their own content on it. So, and other people can also talk. So it's like a community. It's like a Facebook group more like, but also not really. Yeah, it's difficult to explain again. It's a server. You're joining a server. It's like a Twitter happening on a server. Let's look at it that way. Mastodon specifically. It's like an Instagram happening on another server. It's like, I don't know what else is there. Goodreads happening on another server. Just that everybody can look at each other's server. Why is this not getting a hype like Clubhouse did in comparison? Actually, it's not doing too bad, friend. I was just showing some stats earlier. Let me just find that. Is it at users? Is that what it is? Just a second. I'm just finding the stats that I was showing earlier. Okay. I'm just going to open this up. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what it looks like right now. Around, it has crossed around 62 lakh people now, 62 lakh users. In the last day, about 1,36,000 people have joined in. And these are the instances. So the servers are called instances. These are the ones that are being created. Right now, there are around 1,400 plus 1,450 is what I think this would come to, instances existing on the Fediverse. And the toots per hour is about 250 odd. So that number is also going up a little bit. Oh, no. So I think that, oh yeah, I think so. But anyway, um, yeah, so that is what is happening, friends. Come join Mastodon. And as I said, and for the new people who just joined, thank you for watching the stream. I know, like, in the last 15 odd minutes, a lot of people came in. You can go back in the stream and watch it again. I have covered many things. I will just show you. We basically went through this entire graph before, which is what is happening on Twitter. Is Twitter dying? What are the changes in the company? What is Twitter doing? How will blue paid ticks work? Paid blue ticks work? And is it good for the users? And then we moved on to browsing Mastodon. So yeah, that's what we did. So if you are new to this stream, if you just joined in, please go back and watch it. Please subscribe to this channel, and thank you so much for watching. I am now going to take your leave, and I will see you next week. Please do come back when I have something else to talk about. I hope I have something to talk about. If you want me to talk about something, come to Mastodon and tell me about it. Let's do that. And next time, I'm going to try and take callers. I'm going to figure that out. And I think I'll take maybe Zoom calls or Google Meet calls or however it works. Let me figure out the best way to do it. I don't want to use StreamYard. I'm using OBS. So yeah, that is the thing that we will do next time. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye, friends.